I mean, what could be better than having one cute little 1080p projector that looks like a portable speaker, and actually it's one of the most fun gadgets I've played with all year? Well, having two of them. Just pop that up there. These are the brand new 2025 XGIMI MoGo 4 1080p projectors. There's a regular one and there's a laser one. Just pull it up and then swing it around, if you know what I mean, and then you've got a full 360-degree projection, giving up to 120 inches for your movies, your games, catching up with the latest Tech Chap YouTube videos, whatever takes your fancy. It's incredibly portable, but they've still been able to squeeze in a huge 20,000 mAh battery, so you can literally just pick it up and take it around with you. And of course, nothing beats lying in bed watching movies on your ceiling. We'll talk about the image quality in just a second, but the best part for me is having Google TV built in, and also a decent remote. The whole thing is just nice to use. It's snappy, and you have all the usual streaming apps, plus Google Cast and DLNA casting. And if you fancy just listening to something and using it as a portable speaker, you've also got this ambient light and speaker mode that lets you play music or your podcasts via Bluetooth. The problem is, I actually don't have a wall big enough in my house to really show off the MoGo because it can go up to 120 inches. Actually, it can go up to 200 inches, although they recommend for the best sort of quality to size around 120. But fortunately, Mrs. Tech Chap is a florist and has a little studio space with a great big white wall. Have a look at this. Also, she'll kill me for showing the state of her studio. Look at this! And it still looks really sharp. It automatically keystones. I just have to point it at the wall. I mean, for game night, for movie night, that's pretty damn cool. How big is it? Well, let's have a little look. It's too big. All very nice, but the new MoGo 4 series has a nifty trick up its sleeve. Not that projectors have sleeves, but it's in the form of these magnetic filters that literally just pop on the front and, I was about to say automagically, that's a fantastic word, magnetically, automatically, you can even hear it. It creates this ambient mood effect that you can change by swiping in front of the lens, or if you prefer, via the app. And it's so much fun to use this as a huge canvas for perhaps taking more inventive selfie shots or making thumbnails for videos or just having a cool backdrop. It's very nifty. I'm also afraid that by shining my laser into the camera, I'm going to damage it. I think we're fine. But why two? Well, as I say, this is the regular MoGo, which uses an LED projection. This, the MoGo 4 laser, as it says on the tin, actually uses a triple laser for the projection. So it's brighter, you get better contrast, it's also more accurate colors. By the way, I have already named these. This is like, and this is subscribe. I know, I'm the worst. Now in the box, we get the projector, of course, with its lanyard and this cute little mini remote, as well as a full-size remote. We have the magnetic creative filter, some instructions, and the power adapter. Then it's just a case of pairing the remote, then logging into your Google account, or just using the basic Google services if you prefer, checking out a couple of user tips, and then you're good to go. And being Google TV, it's so easy to navigate around, and opening apps is quicker than most TVs, really. Plus, there are plenty of settings to play around with to tweak it to just how you like. Now, XGIMI claim you'll get about 6 hours of music playback from these guys, or around 2.5 hours of video or movie playback, which is pretty good, although bear in mind that it will actually run in eco mode when it's on battery, so the brightness drops a little bit. I think for big, proper movie nights, you might want to plug it in, but 2.5 hours of still a very good-looking projection in this form factor is pretty impressive. You can also charge it with a 65-watt power bank or the MoGo 4 power base stand, which actually doubles the battery runtime and has a quick attach and release. And you can grab one of these separately or as part of a bundle. So for the first time, the MoGo 4 gets this full 360 design, meaning you can project pretty much wherever you want. I used one of my ceiling sound-absorbing acoustic tile things in my studio and just laid back. I could get used to this. I also used it in my kitchen for casting recipe guides and cooking tips, although as usual I was the weak link in this setup. These are serious hard-boiled eggs. It's easy to carry around, just grab it or use the lanyard and plonk it down wherever you fancy. Positioning is just so easy, literally just point it wherever you want, and the ISA autofocus, the screen alignment, and the keystone correction takes care of the rest. It's pretty much just point and play. Then either hold the power button to turn on the ambient light and speaker mode for music playback, or to watch something, just pull the body and the bass apart and pivot it to wherever you want. And it's always stable, it doesn't wobble, which is definitely a plus. In the speaker mode, you can toggle through 8 different ambient colors for the bass. And speaking of speakers, we get a pair of 6-watt Harman Kardon tuned speakers with Dolby Audio and 360 surround sound, which are actually surprisingly punchy. Really punchy, actually. Just have a listen to this. As for connectivity, we have a USB-C charging port, a full-size USB-A and HDMI port for plugging in your devices. So in my case here, a PS5 for some well-earned downtime in the middle of a workday. And I really like this remote. It's nicer than my fancy OLED LG TV's remote. We also get this infrared mini remote which comes attached, and I keep it on there as it means if I forget the main remote, I have this as a backup. You don't get an extra portable remote like this with other projectors, plus it's just as easy to use as the big remote. But going back to these magnetic creative filters, you get one with the regular MoGo 4, but then you get this pack of 4 if you pay the extra for the laser version. I don't know, it's just different. It makes these a little bit unique. And for having a really cool background, just for the vibes, or if you want, a sort of background to take a selfie or for a wallpaper or something, or even just for your kids. My nephew Oliver would love these casting on the ceiling in his room, and the nice little ambient music plays. So you get the default sunset filter, which fills the room with color, this very relaxing ripple filter, the dreamscape filter, and maybe the coolest, at least as far as my inner child is concerned, the lunar filter, which gives you a massive moon to play with, and it changes its phase when you swipe past the projection. Now, of course, with a projector, the image quality, the brightness, the contrast will always look better in a darker room, and particularly if you have a dedicated projector screen, especially an ALR one. But the whole idea here is that the MoGo 4 is small enough to take around with you. So in my case, I'm just using a white painted wall here with the blinds open and closed. Now, both models support HDR10, although sadly no Dolby Vision, but XGIMI reckon the standard MoGo 4 will hit around 450 ISO lumens of brightness, whereas the MoGo 4 Laser will hit 550 ISO lumens. The MoGo 4 Laser also improves the contrast. It has lower latency for gaming, with brighter and more accurate colors, covering 110% of the BT 2020 color space, if you're wondering. It also gets double the internal storage, 32 gigs. And side by side, using identical picture and brightness settings, well, you can see for yourself. Although bear in mind, this is all recorded on an iPhone because my main A7S III camera just shows rainbows. It's actually surprisingly difficult to capture projections like this. So bear in mind, this will look better in real life because it's shot on my iPhone. It's not my fault. This is just textbook projection. Still, the MoGo 4 Laser clearly has the edge in dynamic range and contrast, with a lot more detail in the highlights, and fine details look a little sharper as well. Colors are also a bit punchier with a more natural, warmer tone, and the backlight is much less obvious when you're projecting off angle. And opening the blinds, you can see the laser's extra brightness here really does help with the contrast and the viewability, although both are impressive and definitely watchable. In both cases, the throw ratio is 1.2 to 1, which means you'll have to position this 3.2 meters, that's 10.5 feet, from your surface to get the full 120-inch projection. But if you need to position it closer, or you just don't want a projection that big, the specs say it will work down to a 40-inch screen size. Although to be honest, I've had it look great at even smaller sizes than that. Ultimately, this is a 1080p image, it's not 4K, so the size/sharpness sweet spot is going to be down to you. So how much? Well, the MoGo 4 will set you back $499, or I think it's £509 in the UK, and the Laser one will set you back $799, or £679 here in good old Blighty, which, as I say, also comes with the 4 magnetic creative filters. The trouble is though, if you go on Amazon or wherever, you'll see hundreds of off-brand, unnamed, random projectors, but the problem with those is they're typically 720p resolution, not 1080p. They also aren't natively sold in, say, the UK or Europe or wherever, so you're not going to get proper warranty or have any support with them. And also having Google TV built in, the very nice remote, and also just this design quality, plus the terrific speakers, the battery life, basically just everything that makes this a really nice package, really does set this apart. And as for accessories, you can grab the full magnetic creative filter set, or just go for the MoGo 4 laser, and then you get it bundled in the box. The XGIMI power base stand for MoGo 4 doubles the battery runtime, and you can also get that as a bundle with the MoGo 4 or the MoGo 4 laser. Or even grab the XGIMI portable outdoor screen, which assembles in less than a minute and gives you a 70-inch screen. Alternatively, just get the whole lot with the MoGo 4 outdoor collection. Between the two, I would say this is better value, but because I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to image quality and I want just, the best possible, I would probably go for the laser one myself. But what do you reckon? What do you make of these guys? Let me know in the comments below. If you've got any questions as well, I'll also leave links to these in the description if you fancy checking them out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time right here on the Tech Chat.